When you watch Jake Paul at a press conference, standing up and making bold statements like, "You're all going to take out Tyson, and the hurricane is coming," what runs through your mind? It's hard not to laugh. He's got a certain charm, a playful energy. Like we said, he'll likely be even more entertaining by Saturday. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul has turned into a spectacle no one saw coming. A plot twist that's now captivating the boxing world. Given its potential to shake up both fighters' legacies, it's arguably one of the most controversial bouts in boxing today. But let's not forget, this is about reminding Jake Paul of something he's never experienced. Let's be real. Jake has never faced the real Mike Tyson. The fame, the legacy. Mike Tyson didn't just stroll through life, he commanded attention, walking between darkness and light, royalty and brutality. And while Jake might think he can hang, it's clear that Tyson is still in a class of his own. Now, as we imagine what a prime Tyson would do to a 27-year-old Jake Paul, it's important to remember this isn't Tyson's first encounter with trash talk. Mike Tyson's journey to dominance in boxing was marked by opponents who boldly declared their superiority, only to be quickly humbled. Donnie Long once claimed that he could box just as well as Tyson, even punch just as hard as Tyson did in 1985. That smug grin vanished in an instant when Tyson knocked him out in under a minute. A few years later, Tyrell Biggs made similar claims. But after 7 punishing rounds, his ego was shattered, his bravado wiped away by Tyson's fists. "I owe it to myself to beat Mike Tyson," Biggs said. "He's made for Tyson's left hand." The result? A swift and decisive knockout. It's all over, and it wasn't even close. But somewhere, more in line with the antics of today's social media stars, came the hurricane. Long before social media influencers became a thing, Hurricane was doing whatever it took to get in the spotlight. He would joke, laugh, and clown around, facing one of the most fearsome men in the world, Mike Tyson, with an attitude that only made the fight more surreal. If you're looking at that, and you know you're about to fight Mike Tyson, and he's smiling, trying to make light of the situation, you don't want to hurt him, but you want to beat him, show that you're better than him. But once the bell rings, it's a different business. This is my job, what I do for a living. So, is Peter McNeely ready for what's coming next? He certainly hopes to make a statement beyond just being a name in the history books. McNeely's vision is to prove that he belongs on the list of boxing's heavyweight Cinderella stories. After this fight, people will say, "This kid is for real. We underestimated him." A year from now, I hope to be knocking on the door of a heavyweight championship, standing tall like Evander Holyfield. In the 90s, McNeely was a sizable heavyweight, though slightly shorter than Alexander Usyk, one of the smaller fighters in today's heavyweight division. McNeely's opponent, Williamson, the former WBC light heavyweight champion, had his own struggles in the ring. Williamson went down early in the fight, got back up, but then found himself on the canvas again in the first round. Peter McNeely's challenge was clear. Sometimes, you just have to let the fight play out a little longer. One lesson Muhammad Ali always understood was that when fans pay to watch a fight, it should go beyond the first round. Using his size and strength, McNeely had an impressive streak, winning his last 10 fights by first-round knockouts, boasting a 36-1 record, just 5 wins shy of Mike Tyson's tally at the time. But McNeely was stunned by a left hand from his opponent at the end of round 2. It was clear. With a record like that, it would be hard not to be confident. However, those 36 wins were not as impressive as they might seem. McNeely's opponents had a combined record of 206 wins, 448 losses, and 22 draws, partly a collection of seasoned contenders. Every fighter works with what they have, building skills with opponents who aren't necessarily championship material. But Peter McNeely's approach showed that he was more than just a product of weak competition. He faced his challenges head-on, more admirably than many would have expected. Sure, he might have been cocky, but there was a reason. He had earned his place in the ring, though his style was not the cleanest, and certainly not what Tommy Morrison or Tyson fans might have hoped for. McNeely made up for his lack of finesse with sheer determination. He had a hunger for victory, and once he sensed his opportunity, he seized it, knocking out his opponent at 1 minute 53 seconds of the first round. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. This wasn't the spectacle Tyson fans have been waiting for. Nor did McNeely's performance necessarily earn him an immediate shot at the champ. However, it was a sign that, much like today's entertainment-driven fight world, heart and grit were still king. McNeely himself seemed to view this fight as a warm-up, a stepping stone for what was to come, a potential showdown with none other than Mike Tyson in the summer. That's pure speculation. Mike Tyson walked out of an Indiana prison this morning, stepping into a world of opportunity to resume his multi-million-dollar boxing career. Tyson claims he's a changed man, but with 4 years of probation ahead of him, only time will tell if he can prove it. The question on everyone's mind, has he changed as a fighter? We'll know the answer in a matter of months. Tyson hadn't stepped into a professional ring in 4 years, but his last performance, where he decisively defeated Razor Ruddock for a second time, showed he still had the fire and tenacity that made him a global sensation. There's something you can't buy in class, and you don't got none of that, man. I can't wait till the 28th. I'm going to make you my girlfriend, Tyson said, his words dripping with the kind of confidence and bravado that made him a feared presence in the ring. The fight that followed proved just how dangerous he could be, as he sent Ruddock crashing to the canvas with a vicious overhand right. Despite a packed first half of the year with high-profile fights like McCall vs. Holmes and Holyfield vs. Mercer, Tyson's return was by far the most anticipated event in combat sports. People were eager to see the scariest version of Tyson, the one who had been locked away for so long. It felt like the world had finally been given back the most terrifying heavyweight of his era. Tyson's first public workout, preparing for his first fistfight in 4 years, left many wondering what kind of shape he'd be in. There was no boxing in prison, so he probably spent most of his time lifting weights. After his release, Tyson was noticeably pumped up, having bulked up to around 300 pounds, packing on muscle while in prison, where his only options were to eat and train. While Tyson had lost significant prime years due to personal problems, Peter McNeely, with his aggressive and unorthodox fighting style, provided the perfect opponent for Tyson's comeback, offering the first real test on his path back to the top of the heavyweight division. "I'm pretty sharp right now," Tyson said confidently. "I think he's the one with the doubts in his head and the confidence problems. He's the one that's got something to prove, not me. He's been given a second chance, an opportunity to be a better fighter than he ever was. Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely," Tyson proclaimed, a chilling reminder of the intimidating champion he once was, and still might be. "I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Samsonite. No, Sam Salmon. I believe that Mike Tyson's going to be in real trouble that night. Peter McNeely will go right after him, and if that happens, this will be called the MGM McNeely on August 16th, McNeely declared, with an unmistakable confidence. The MGM press hall was packed with thousands of onlookers as McNeely stood there, holding a small piece of paper, met with a chorus of applause, laughter, and mockery. "Keep laughing. Keep laughing. Feel real funny, huh?" McNeely shot back. "If any one of you doesn't respect me, you're going against a guy like this. You'd have a big dump in your pants." In fairness, McNeely had a point. It was a stark contrast to what we usually saw from Tyson's opponents, who were often visibly terrified even before the bell rang. "Remember the Mike Tyson fights when he was in his prime?" McNeely continued. "Yeah. Remember that look in their eyes? They're staring across the ring like, oh, Jesus, what did I sign up for?" He wasn't backing down. "I don't know what the money was here, but it wasn't worth it. I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Massachusetts. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass. But if you haven't made your pay-per-view arrangements yet, do it now, because remember what happens when I wrap you in my cocoon." It was awkward, undeniably so, but also iconic in its own way. The room buzzed with tension as the Hurricane's words seemed to fuel him even further. Meanwhile, Tyson, ever the master of understatement, responded with a short, sweet, and menacing retort that set the tone for the entire event. "I'm just ready to fight. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Thank you. Why fight this fight? Tyson can hurt people," Tyson said, his calm demeanor belying the storm he was about to unleash. Yeah, I might knock him out and follow up all the MGM with Showtime's plans. Greatest fighter of my time, my era, and I just hope that I put on a good show and I'll be in there." going to knock out Mike? It wasn't about who would win the fight. It was about how long it would take, according to the scribes covering the event. Tyson's presence alone made the outcome seem inevitable, but the question remained. Could McNeely withstand the storm? I knew exactly what I was going to be in life, and I knew I was going to be here someday, Tyson said with a cool confidence. Good luck to you, Peter. Thank you, Peter, McNeely responded, with the slightest hint of respect. Then McNeely, ever the character, delivered a classic line. You know, there are 3 uses of the word dude. There's dude. How's it going? There's dude. You messed up? Then, there's the Peter McNeely use. Dude. Is Mike Tyson going to pummel me? And just like that, the Hurricane Hotline was born. You've reached Hurricane Hotline, home of the WBA and WBC's world-rated heavyweight contender, Hurricane Peter McNeely. Iron Mike Tyson, I'm coming at you. Please leave a message after the tone, and I'll try to get back to you later. Tyson vs. McNeely, live on pay-per-view. Mike Tyson was set to earn a staggering $22 million for the fight. Don King, always the businessman, quipped, give him anything he wants, just keep him fighting. 5 Rolls Royces? Buy it for him. To Tyson, money and material possessions meant nothing. He was a force of nature, a prize fighter who had been locked away for years and now returned to the ring with a ferocity few could match. McNeely, on the other hand, was set to earn just $400,000 for the bout. He's got a suit on that costs more than what I made in my last fight in Arkansas, McNeely joked, drawing a stark contrast between their careers and backgrounds. Despite the immense odds, McNeely being a 17-1 underdog, he wasn't there to simply lay down and let Tyson steamroll him. I go right out. I crash right in and go nose to nose, head to head, mano a mano. Wanting to bang the head and body, McNeely declared, preparing to challenge the reigning king of the ring head-on. Throughout the pre-fight build-up, McNeely was surprisingly lighthearted. Listen, I'm already here having fun, he said, even as the world watched in anticipation of what was about to unfold. His relaxed attitude was in stark contrast to Tyson, who was a time bomb of raw power and aggression, ready to unleash fury. A sold-out MGM Grand was packed with electric anticipation, not just for Tyson's return, but for what McNeely might bring to the table. This is for my grandfathers, my grandmothers, my father, my mother, Curly, and last but not least, Snobby, McNeely said, his eclectic list of inspirations only adding to the unpredictable nature of the fight. But when the bell rang, there was a palpable tension in the air, the kind that only Tyson's presence could command. Tyson was the lion. McNeely was the brave, but perhaps overzealous, prey. Look at his eyes, that is terrifying, one observer remarked, capturing the essence of Tyson's ferocity. When you're staring down that kind of intensity, it's hard to ignore the reality of what's about to happen. As advertised, McNeely charged straight at Tyson from the opening bell, eager to prove his worth. The Hurricane came out swinging, determined to make Tyson respect him. But Tyson, ever the master of timing and speed, quickly caught McNeely with a perfect straight right to the temple. McNeely went down, but he got up immediately, not even waiting for the count to start, a testament to his resilience. But things quickly spiraled for McNeely. The game plan began to disintegrate under the barrage of punches from Tyson. The storm was relentless. Mills Lane, the referee, had to step in to prevent the fighters from butting heads. But that was only the beginning. A blatant headbutt just a minute into the fight seemed to ignite something in Tyson. His demeanor shifted. Tyson wasn't just going to win. He was going to dominate. 30 seconds later, Tyson unleashed a left hook and a right uppercut. McNeely went down again. This time, he could barely stand. This corner, seeing the inevitable, threw in the towel in a controversial and abrupt ending. That was not correct. That was not correct. McNeely's camp protested. He quit, they cried. No, he didn't quit. His corner threw in the towel, came the firm response. Despite the premature ending, McNeely had shown something that no one had expected, heart. He did something few others dared to do. He attacked Tyson, pushed him back into the corner, and tried to make it a fight, at least for a moment. It was a display of guts, even if the fight didn't last long enough to show what might have come next. So, Can you really gauge what this fight did for McNeely's career? On paper, it was a devastating loss, but in many ways, it was a testament to his courage. He took the fight to Tyson, something no one else had been brave enough to do, and while the ending may have been unsatisfying, McNeely earned the respect of those who appreciated the heart and determination that had driven him into the ring that night. The fight between Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely, lasting just 89 seconds, became a whirlwind of speculation and controversy. McNeely came out with a fiery determination, immediately charging toward Tyson as soon as the bell rang. He was intent on taking the fight to Tyson, but Tyson's unmatched speed and power quickly proved overwhelming. McNeely went down twice in a matter of moments, and his corner, sensing the inevitable, threw in the towel, stopping the fight early in a controversial move. But what followed stirred the pot even further. The quick stoppage raised eyebrows, particularly because of McNeely's trainer, Vinny Vicon, and his questionable history. Vicon had long been rumored to have ties to organized crime, and this connection fueled conspiracy theories about the real reason for the fight's abrupt end. Was it a protective measure for McNeely, or something darker at play? Peter wanted to continue, Vicon later stated, clearly dissatisfied with the decision to halt the fight. The fight was going fine, so why did the corner step in? We need to review the tape and talk to everyone involved. Though no concrete evidence of match fixing ever emerged, the speculation was rife. Charles Fell, former manager of Leon Spinks, fueled these rumors further when he claimed that he had heard whispers about a large wager on the fight ending in under 90 seconds. A bet worth a staggering $1 million. This tidbit only deepened the intrigue surrounding the fight. Some even entertained the bizarre idea that the entire event had been manipulated, with outlandish theories about time travelers using futuristic technology to predict the outcome of the bout, though these ideas were ultimately debunked. Despite the swirling rumors and the shadow of controversy, McNeely took the events in stride. He praised Tyson, calling him a true champion, and expressed his respect for Tyson's legacy, acknowledging that Tyson had been one of his childhood heroes. McNeely remained gracious and even used the opportunity to secure a Pizza Hut endorsement, showing that he knew how to capitalize on the moment, even if it was not the one he had hoped for in the ring. For Tyson, the fight marked his return to the spotlight after his time away from the ring. It was a brief but explosive re-entry, setting the stage for the next chapter of his career. Despite the controversy and the rumors that followed his fights, Tyson's name would remain at the top of the boxing world. His legendary status continued to grow as he faced off with future titans like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. However, his career was also marked by struggles, culminating in his stunning loss to Kevin McBride in 2010, but his impact on the sport was undeniable. In the end, the Tyson vs. McNeely fight will forever be remembered for its brevity and the mysteries that surrounded it. Whether or not it was all part of some larger conspiracy, it cemented its place as one of the most talked about and debated events in boxing history.